Should have packed our snowshoes.
What? People do that?
You know, fun fact, not only is it the oldest, but remains one of the most effective means of traversing the ice.
Wow. Yeah, you're gonna fit right in at Beaverfield. Everything here is a little questionable.
Ranger!
The people. The weather. Everything.
Oh.
Ranger? You look like you just seen a corpse.
Well, the roads are effed, and something's wrong with the generator.
Which generator?
All of them.
Can't get on the internet!
Also, there's a dead body under your porch.
Holy!
Probably a wolf.
What are you, like a wolf detective now, Marcus?
Who knows who or when it's gonna kill next.
I think we can all agree that it's unsafe outside, and there's safety in numbers. Out of curiosity, who is packing? Well, we're having a good old-fashioned sleepover.
With guns, though.
With guns, yes.
Everything about this predator is unorthodox. It's not human. It's not canine. It's one of them.
One of what?
Lycanthrope.
A what?
A werewolf.
How could it gotten in here? How did it get out?
Who says it got out?
Maybe.
I'm a werewolf.
Maybe you're a werewolf. Maybe you're a werewolf. You're a werewolf. You're a werewolf. You're a werewolf. Maybe we're all werewolves.
Are we really in a Mexican standoff right now?
Baby, don't say Mexican. Just stand up.
You know, we're probably just gonna head out.
This is
Wait, just pull it.
Who are me?
We got it on our own. It's just, hey, you go ahead, please. Don't spare me.
Oh, please don't. Oh, please. Please don't bother the
Spare
lock.
me. You think I
Oh
couldn't
my
do that
goodness, I
myself?
could have
Wow.
gotten it. Dr. Ellis?
I told you, she's probably tanked.
Touch this door again, I'll shoot. Again.
Dr. Ellis?
Hey, knock his damn lost.
Please. We need answers.
It didn't disappear.
What'd you say?
What?
It's not Emerson Flint. It's one of you.
What the hell was that
Oh.
supposed to mean?
Okay, well,
What did her eyeball say?
look, we don't understand. Can you just please come out?
I'm afraid I can't do that, Ranger Wheeler. You could be one of them.
What is she?
One of what?
A lycanthrope.
A what?
A werewolf.
The roads are effed. Something's wrong with the generator. Also, there's a dead body under your porch. Yes!
I'm gonna go get a croissant.
Out of curiosity, who is packing? We're having a good old-fashioned sleepover.
With guns, though.
With guns, yes.
Mwah, 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 mwah.
Everybody's going, how the heck?
Not littering, I'm just excited.
Not judging, just watching it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the official watch party for Werewolves Within. The movie is now available on VOD, so if you haven't already, rent the movie right now and then join us as we watch along together. I'm Chastity Vicencio from Ubisoft News, and today I'm joined by some special guests. My co-host tonight is the host of Wolfe's Call on TWD Universe on Twitch. It's Clarke Wolfe. Hey, Clarke.
Hey, Chastity. I'm so excited to do this with y'all.
This is going to be so much fun, and you have the perfect last name for this.
I mean, it's synergy. Synergy.
Exactly. And we also have the director of Werewolves Within with us, Josh Ruben. Hey, Josh, you excited for this?
I'm very excited. My hair's ready. My arm hair's ready. I feel like I'm almost there, you know?
Oh, yeah. We're so excited to have you here. And also the star of the movie, Sam Richardson, is going to join us a little bit later, so tune in for that as well.
Cannot wait to check in with Sam. This is going to be so fun. Friday night movie night with commentary and insight from the director and star of the film. If you love horror comedies and murder mysteries, trust me, because I happen to love both, you're going to love this movie.
I love both too. And to be clear, we're not playing the movie on this stream. You have to rent Werewolves Within and then sync up with us. So Clarke, tell them how to do that.
I would love to. So Werewolves Within is available to rent on Amazon Prime Video, Apple TV, YouTube, Vudu, and more. So just visit werewolveswithinmovie.com and click on Watch at Home for a full list of links to rent the movie. We'll also drop the direct link in the chat, so keep your eye out for that. And then on your device of choice, you can sync up the movie by hitting play when we do and watch along with us. So if you need some time to figure out where and how to rent or want a preview of what the movie is about, let's check out a sizzle reel of the movie right now.
Dr. Ellis?
I told you, she's probably tanked.
Touch this door again, I'll shoot. Again.
Dr. Ellis?
Hey, knock this damn lost,
Please. We need answers.
It didn't disappear.
What did you say? What?
It's not Emerson Flint. It's one of you.
Oh, okay, well, look, we don't understand. Could you just please come out?
I'm afraid I can't do that, Ranger Wheeler. You could be one of them.
What is it?
One of what? A what?
A werewolf.
The roads are effed. Something's wrong with the generator. Also, there's a dead body under your porch. Yes!
I'm gonna go get a croissant.
Out of curiosity, who is packing? We having a good old-fashioned sleepover.
With guns, though.
With guns, yes.
Everybody's going, how the heck?
Not littering, I'm just excited.
Not judging, just watching it.
That was great. I'm excited to watch this movie again with some live director commentary. As you can see, we also have a timer down below counting down to when we're going to hit play on the movie. So you've still got time to rent the movie right now, werewolveswithinmovie.com for those links. I also dropped some link in the chat if you want a direct link. While we give everyone some time to get set up, let's chat for a bit. But first of all, congratulations are in order because Werewolves Within won the award for Best Indie Film at the Hollywood Critics Association Mid-Season Awards. Congrats, Josh. How do you feel?
Woo, woo. Thank you so much. I mean, it's really everybody's award. You know, it's mine, it's yours, Mishna's. Yeah, it's the Werewolves. It took a lot. It was a Herculean effort, but here we are at the mid-season Hollywood Critics Film Association. I had never heard of it, but I'm honored. I've never won anything. I got a 950 on my SATs, so I'm very
And
grateful.
look at you now. Look at you now. Best indie. Love it.
Yep, upstairs in my mom and dad's house in a chair my parents have had for a long time, talking to you guys and watching a movie digitally. We should be in the same room, but technology's sometimes better.
Next movie we will,
This isn't
for
alcohol.
sure. All right, there's so much we want to know about making this movie. So Clarke and I have some questions. I hope you're ready. And if you guys in the chat have questions for Josh, drop them in there and we will ask them later. So Clarke, start us off.
All right, so let's start with werewolves. Let's talk about some werewolves. Josh, I know you are a horror fan yourself and have, directed other things in the genre. Why do you think that there are so few werewolf movies when the people that love them, love them?
Well, there aren't a few werewolf movies. It's just a matter of when werewolf movies hit, when they work, and that I think is rare. It's hard. It's a hard creature to bring to life. Sometimes it could look like a puppy suit. I mean, even Silver Bullet, which is a fantastic movie and one of the ones that scared me the most as a kid. Ultimately, it looks like a big friendly bear with an eye patch. And sometimes you got to be careful. Whereas a movie that's as beautiful as Bad Moon, or as beautifully shot as Bad Moon, but sort of less acclaimed, has an incredible suit, incredible creature effects. They're hard to do, and this one, without giving anything away to those of you who've rented it, it's less about perhaps the creature itself up to a point, and more about the werewolves within us all. You know what I mean?
Good title. Good title.
Indeed.
I don't know if I answered your question at all, but
You did.
We'll see.
You did answer it. We're going to have lots
did.
of room for werewolf talk later, so don't worry. I'll come up with follow-ups.
Heaven. Okay, good.
Absolutely.
God.
So yeah, let's talk a little bit about your last film as well. So you worked on Scare Me, which some people might have seen here in the chat. So what was it like going from that project to working on Werewolves Within?
Terrifying, intimidating. That first one was well under $500,000 budget, shot in a single location with 3 other actors, myself in front of the camera. This is 11 or 12 actors in various locations, but it was incredible. I've worked at various budget levels before. Misha's script was absolutely incredible. It made me think of Arachnophobia and Clue and Hot Fuzz, and that got me jazzed, as did the folks at Ubisoft. I mean, how spoiled I was to work with such incredible producers. They were so giving and gave me probably too much freedom, and yeah, the rest is history.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's great to have all that freedom.
Absolutely. Well, and speaking of the, I'm sorry, go ahead.
They gave me a long leash, pardon the pun, or accept the pun, yeah, but yeah.
So speaking of Ubisoft, and one of my favorite jokes in the trailer, which is based on the popular video game you've never heard of, were you familiar with Werewolves Within the game? I know that I played General Werewolf with friends over the pandemic. We did it over,
Right.
You could do it over Zoom, all that. But how did you know about this world before you got into, or before you were hired to direct this movie?
I hadn't heard of the game, no, and when I got the gig, I went into the Ubisoft offices and played the game with the creators of the game, and that was terrifying because I spent most of the time trying to figure out the controls, and it was embarrassing. It was an embarrassing hot mess on my behalf. The game is great, but it was just I trying to be cool, and then to have a hard time navigating it and getting my bearings, and also wearing the headset and and then to be okay, well, I'm gonna go direct the movie based on this game that I wasn't immediately proficient at. I hope everyone has a great evening. That was it was heartening,
Yeah, so it's based off of the Ubisoft VR title, but where else did you draw inspiration from when making this?
As soon as I opened the script, I mean, it immediately made me think of movies like Clue and Arachnophobia, but also early Spielberg. But the great horror comedies, movies that that play in that genre space really well, but also scare the crap out of you. So it was a combination of some werewolf movies, like the lensing, the anamorphic lenses, for example, are an homage to the aspect ratio, not only in Bad Moon, but also in Silver Bullet. That was like my like slight homage. And then, there was even an article, I think Clarke Hollis at Entertainment Weekly was sweet enough to interview me about inspiration. And Monster Squad was one of them. There's actually a specific color. Monster Squad green is what my cinematographer called it, because I showed him the movie and said, that's the green I want when a certain character is underlit. And then it reprises a bit later. So, yeah, there were a few in kind of varying degrees, but Clue was a big one because I studied it, and just insofar as how to cover directorially tableaus, swaths of people, big group shots. What's the most economic way to do it, an interesting way to do it, and also just to reaffirm and reassure me that by shooting those group shots with one camera when you don't have two, how to make it interesting, and that it can be interesting if the camera doesn't do all the work, but the people do it. It was a team effort.
Speaking of that, so I want to talk a little bit, or I'd love to talk a little bit about the comedy, because I would argue this movie is mostly a comedy in a lot of ways. It's obviously very suspenseful. But I noticed you have so many wonderful comedic actors, and they are all in a lot of, the shots together, and the rhythm and the timing is really on point. Was improvisation a part of this process, or did they mostly stick to the script?
We had to stick to the script, 98% of the time, because we only had so many days to work, and the sun in the sky or not in the sky for only so many hours a day of working. So inevitably, actors are going to improvise, especially folks like Harvey Guillen and Sarah Burns and George Basil, and certainly Sam and Milana. God, I could just list all of them. But ultimately, this is an Agatha Christie sort of nod. It's a murder mystery. We had to stick to certain story points and nuances in the dialogue. So I allowed it when folks felt the kind of freedom to do so, and folks were always welcome to do so. But we certainly didn't do as much as I'm sure all of us would have liked to do. And folks were happy to stick with the script. I mean, the script is incredible. Mishna's script is out of control. So.
Yeah, so we were talking about the actors. So you have an ensemble cast here. What was it like casting this movie? Was that difficult, and how was your experience working with them?
Get yourself a genius casting director like Gail Keller. I mean, she was out of control. She just is so imaginative and wonderful, and has a really good just sort of bird's eye view of the great human beings, not only that are talented, but like good people working in the industry. She brought us inspired choices like, Wayne Duvall and Glenn Fleshler and Harvey Guillen. And then it was a combination too of asking, folks like George Basil, who plays Marcus, who I knew I wanted in the movie from the get-go, regardless of who he wanted to play. Who do you want to play opposite? Who do you want to play your spouse? Harvey, who do you want to play your husband? And so George suggested Sarah Burns. Harvey suggested Cheyenne Jackson. So it was kind of a smattering of efforts. It was like, traditional, but also me making a list of actors I wanted to work with, like Rebecca Henderson and Michael Chernus and the like, and working with Gail and actors contributing and Ubisoft and many ideas from many, many sides. It was a real collaborative effort.
I am a massive Michaela Watkins fan. Ever since SNL and Angie Tempora was one of my favorite characters that she created. I just love her so much, and so it was such a treat to see her kind of in the beginning. You know what I mean? She comes out, and I was like, oh, I didn't know she was in this. That's so wonderful.
Stephen King's very own Trish. Yeah, she's a genius.
She's so great. She's so great. So horror comedy, is I would argue, a hard subgenre to do well, much like a werewolf movie, I would also argue. And yet horror and comedy feel like they're two sides of the same coin. They both rely on a surprise. There is a release of tension, et cetera, et cetera. So how can you talk about, as a director, making sure that the suspense is scary and the jokes are still landing all at the same time?
Within 20 seconds.
Basically you just want to tell your cast not to get caught trying to be funny, because that's where everything can unspool. If your actors are caught trying to tell jokes, caught trying to be funny, then the whole thing, sort of gets all tangled up. And playing the terror for real and not being caught telling the jokes, that's, I think, the key to all of it.
All right, it's about time, so we're all going to hit play on the movie together. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hit play, everybody. Here we go. It's time to watch Werewolves Within. There are links in the chat if you still haven't gotten it yet.
I love this movie.
So good.
I'm biased, but...
Let's see. Oh, actually, let me put a little note in the VMix chat.
Yes, our stream hasn't played yet. We're going to fix that. Yeah.
Cool.
We will be updating the time code. We will be updating the time code. Let me drop in the link one more time for you in the chat on where to get it. You can rent it in multiple places, but if you go to werewolveswithinmovie.com and hit watch at home, then you can get links on where to rent it right now. And we're going to restart the timer when we're all in sync with each other.
Amazing.
Yes. Hold on. On our side, yeah. Okay, cool. We're gonna keep the pre-show going because we can't press play yet because on our end it's not playing. So just a moment, but we're gonna keep the questions going while we fix this.
Patience.
Okay.
Patience.
Patience,
it's gonna be
everyone.
worth it, guys. We're pulling back.
We're gonna get people in. We're gonna get people in. Yeah. Okay, and we will be updating the time code. Okay. All right. So let's ask some more questions. So what else do we got here for Josh? All right. I wanted to ask, are there any Easter eggs or references that you put into this movie that we should look out for?
I'm glad you asked, Chastity. Why, yes. In Werewolves Within, for the folks who do know the game, keep your eyes peeled for a giant book, basically like the key book in Werewolves Within the game proper. It may or may not be the ledger at the Beaverfield Inn. And inevitably, without giving anything away, we are going to have to smoke out the werewolf. And much like the game, you do see a scene where folks have to sit around a circle and point fingers. And in the game itself, there's a gnarled tree stump table. It's a table made from an ancient tree stump, much like the game. And that was kind of my mandate prop. So thank you to Laura Crawford and Brett Tanzer and Matt Hyland, my production design team, and dressers, my set dressers, for being like, yeah, we'll find that ridiculous set piece for you. That exists. You've cracked the whip, and now we have our mandate,
All right. Clarke, you got any questions?
Actually, oh yeah. Well, can we talk about where did you shoot? This set is, or the visuals are so beautiful, but obviously movie magic allows one to maybe not shoot where the exteriors are. So where did you shoot this movie?
We shot in and around the Hudson Valley. So in Fleischmann's, New York, where Jim Jarmusch shot The Dead Don't Die. Okay. That little small town, and mostly in downtown Phoenicia, where I grew up as a kid. Pretending that I was being chased by werewolves and vampires and creatures alike. So this is it's a very personal movie to me to that regard, because I opened the script and it felt much, I feel like a kid who grew up in a town like Beaverfield. I did grow up in a town much like the town in the movie. So we shot in those very towns in Hudson Valley. And then the lodge itself is a place called Spillian, which is an event space and bed and breakfast run by a wonderful couple, Mark and Lee, out in Fleischmann's. You can have your wedding there. You can have a great weekend or celebrate New Year's or whatever. But my fiance actually suggested it. She said, you should look at this place. It's like a character in and of itself. It's got these kind of beautiful wooden walls, and you walk in and it feels like a set in Clue, or a place in Clue where Tim Curry might attempt to murder Mr. Plum or something.
Totally. Oh my goodness. So what are your favorite horror comedies? We were talking about horror comedies earlier.
I think the touchstone, especially the one that reminded me of Werewolves Within, or made me think of the movie from the get-go, or a good comp, is Arachnophobia. I mean, Jeff Daniels literally facing off against a giant arachnid, but arguing with himself like what Bordeaux to throw at that giant arachnid. That's like the ultimate horror comic. He's playing it for real. He's like playing the terror and anxiety and trauma of it all for real. But the dialogue is just so funny. The circumstance is so funny. He's like, I wouldn't want to break the whatever, the Louis Latour, and yet he's like trying to save himself from a giant spider. But also, I mean, I don't know. It's a lot of inspo from Shaun of the Dead without breaking the fourth wall. You like that kind of fast-paced dialogue and stylistic editing, which, big shout out to Brett Bachman, our editor, for, bringing those Edgar vibes.
Oh, totally. Clarke, how about you? What are your favorite horror comedies?
One of my favorite movies of all time, truly one of my favorite horror movies of all time, is Drag Me to Hell, one of Sam Raimi's Drag Me to Hell.
It's so good.
I love it so much.
Terrific.
We just did a deep dive into it on Wolfe's Call, and it is just it's just everything. To me, it's all the Sam Raimi stuff that we know and love, but with a budget. And I love that. Yes, there is charm to Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2, and of course Army of Darkness, but I just and I love the female protagonist, to be honest. I really, really love Drag Me to Hell, and I think it stands up. Like, I think it's still fun. The practical effects are great, and it's just a ride. It truly feels like a roller coaster. So that's one that stands out to me for sure.
Absolutely. God,
Honey, I can actually hear my parents. They have rented the movie. I can hear them downstairs. I can hear
did they?
I can hear the movie.
What great parents. What lovely
that's so
parents.
nice. I love that.
They love their W,
It must have also been like a true full circle moment to be able to shoot in your hometown, Josh. I mean, that's got to be.
Say, yeah, I mean, the wonderful thing was, I shot my first movie here for such a small budget and be able to bring back more commerce, a bigger budget, to be able to hire some of the same folks that worked on it, but pay them a livable wage, and have them come aboard something of this scale was really cool. It feels wonderful. I'd love to do all my movies in the Hudson Valley, but maybe next time, in the nice, sunny, dappled light of fall, or perhaps late summer, rather than the dead of winter again.
Yep.
But we'll see.
Before Sam gets here, Sam's going to join us around 6 p.m. Pacific time. Let's talk about him a bit before he's even here. What was it like getting Sam on board for Werewolves Within and working with him and having him as the lead role?
It was awesome. I mean, I remember being so nervous to take a FaceTime call with him, and immediately it felt like I was talking to a friend, just like talking to a buddy, doing bits with your comedic brethren. He's just so kind and so just so down to earth and so cool. I mean, he is Finn pretty much. He is this part, just way funnier and in a different field and far more successful, perhaps. Yeah, I mean, it was sort of a no-brainer, and he was very stoked. He was like, I don't often get the opportunity to play this sort of part, and I'm thrilled to, play the protagonist, the basically anchor protagonist of this Agatha Christie mystery. He's also a huge werewolf fan. He loves werewolves, martial arts, and the 1989 Batmobile. So, fun trivia.
Oh my gosh.
I just read that his plan is, he's like, if whenever I get enough money, I'm going to buy the 1989 Batmobile, and that's a fact. And I want to ask him about that. I know it's
how much is that going to set him back? Yeah.
I know, $300 million, I think. So he's going to buy it for, no, I have no idea. But yeah, he's saved up, but yeah, at least half. So,
nice.
In a piggy bank. So we'll see.
And for those of you hanging out in the chat, thank you for joining us. Please rent the movie before we start it. We will start the time code running when we hit play on our end, so we can all sync up together. But if you haven't rented it yet, it's werewolveswithinmovie.com. There's a link in the chat. Thank you, Chris, for dropping that in. We will be starting in a couple of minutes. Hopefully we get that going very soon. And Sam Richardson is going to join us, like we mentioned, in about a little over a half hour at 6 p.m. Pacific time. The star of the movie will also be joining us. So if you got questions for him, you can ask them then. If you got questions for Josh, drop those in the chat. and we will be starting the movie very soon. So stay tuned for that. All right.
Josh, do you have a favorite werewolf transformation? I know people get very sweaty about this.
I'm not gonna get sweaty about it. I mean, I just saw Criminally. I did not see American Werewolf in London until like 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
People must be like, girl, like, come on, a director of a werewolf movie not even gonna familiarize himself. And like the werewolf movie, especially the horror comedy, I couldn't believe it. I watched it with my fiance. I'm gonna say fiance a lot because this is the brief shelf life window of time where you can actually say it. And it has it has value because we're betrothed. But I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe how much it held up. You know, the fact that it was made in the the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s. I should know that.
No,
I don't know.
Right? No, I think you're right.
Okay, good. I was right on the first swing. I'm just going to say 1983 because it's when I was born. Just a wild swing. We'll see. That might not be a fact, but if I did, slam dunk. That transformation is insane. But I will say, I really think that the transformation in Bad Moon, or at least the creature in Bad Moon is pretty rad. And I'm making my way through Ginger Snaps. That's like the one I watch when my fiance is in the shower because she can't see much gory, much intense horror film. So that's like my go-to when she's like out of the room for 5 minutes. It's like I'm just chipping away at Ginger Snaps. What about your guys? I mean, do you have a favorite transformation?
I tend to. I similarly fall on the side of American Werewolf. I'm not like, I know some people love The Howling. Oh, but you know what? Okay, I've got an underrated werewolf transformation. Is everybody ready? Okay,
yes.
Here we go. Underrated werewolf transformation. And I've just teed this up, and now I'm blanking on the movie. Angela Lansbury. Directed by the same director, directed by Neil Jordan.
Dog Soldiers?
No, that's Neil Marshall.
What is
no, and it's a metaphor. Wait, it's a fairy tale. Oh my god, I teed this up. Way to blow it, Clarke. Hold on.
Where?
Neil Jordan.
I'm so curious though.
Angela Lansbury. Hold on. Yes. The Company of Wolves. Okay.
Thank you, Chris knew it.
The Company of Wolves is super fun. It's an adult fairy tale. If you haven't seen it, check it out. But that transformation is like gnarly. Like it's all of the gross parts of being human.
Is that the one where the dog snout comes out of their?
Yes.
Like just straight up, just the dog comes out of their. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yes, and the flesh kind of falls away. That's a really fun one. I like that one. I can't believe it just like went right out of my head, but we got there.
Werewolves She Wrote. I mean, come on, guys. Why didn't anybody say that?
Exactly.
So perfect. I have a production question. Sorry, go ahead.
Clarke. No, please. This is please. I'm just being nerdy. Continue.
No, I love it. I have a production question. Because of the timing of this film, did you wrap production before the pandemic, Josh?
We wrapped March 9th, 2020, and by Friday we were in lockdown. Whoa. Friday the 13th, baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
Friday the 13th. Never forget.
Went to Alamo Drafthouse, saw Invisible Man like the rest of the world, and and then Friday it was like, cool, you might be inside for a while. So I was so grateful. Oh my God, if I didn't have this job before I went to, I don't know, I don't know what would have went down. So I'm so incredibly grateful, not only for that, not only the fact that we wrapped right under the wire, but two, that I had a routine throughout the craziness of it all, that I actually had like time to rest once we got home, and after being away from home for so long, but then to be able to have this editing job basically for 4 months, putting the thing together, and then to roll into Scare Me Press, and then to go back into Werewolves and prep that for composition and all the remote stuff, remote color, remote sound design, which is very frustrating, but and a Herculean effort in and of itself. But we we did it, and we did it remote. We did it without being in each other's company, which is out of control.
It's amazing.
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
we
can't
did.
even imagine. Yeah, like, did that take much longer than you expected? Then the post production.
We still had, we still had allocated the time allocated, but it was just like, okay, cool, you got to figure it out, digitally. So there's probably like maybe a cushion of a week or two to, adjust, but yeah, it was the whole crew. I mean, everybody sort of acclimated themselves quite quickly, and it was really inspiring. Yeah, somehow we made it out with this magic little ridiculous movie. So I'm gonna do every movie like that. I'm gonna make it a little harder for myself every time.
Amazing. All right, we're about to start this movie, so please get your copies of Werewolves Within ready. If you haven't rented it yet, go to werewolveswithinmovie.com, rent at home, get that link, and let's play it right now. We're going to sync up the current time code on the screen so you can sync up with us, but play it now.
Yay, there it is.
Here we go. You should be seeing a quote on the screen, a very ominous quote. I'm not going to spoil it for you.
Yeah. So good.
A Mr. Rogers quote is now on the screen, and that's what you should be seeing.
Mr. Rogers is having a moment these last couple of years, huh?
Yeah, are you a Mr. Rogers fan? Josh, are you a Mr. Rogers fan?
I mean, who ain't? Who ain't? He was my only friend growing up for so long. I mean, until about 15 years ago or so. I was watching him just until I graduated college. I didn't go to college. Oh man!
All right.
Yeah, nothing like starting
starting
a movie this way.
So you should be seeing the Mr. Rogers quote on the screen right now. We're going to have the time code on the screen so you can sync up with us. So just giving you a sec because I kind of sprung it on y'all. We started it over. But now you should be hearing music and seeing the Ubisoft logo come up.
I love this. I love this way to open the movie, Josh. It's such a fun kind of sassy just way to set the tone.
Yeah, we wanted folks to know right away that they were signing up for something a pinch more tongue in cheek than a Freddy movie. When Dan Wilcox, our music supervisor, sent this song our way, we knew we had to have it. It's so good.
Yeah, if you're just tuning in, the current time code on the screen that you see below us is where we're at. So just sync up your copy to that number, and that's where we're at the same time. We're making an adjustment to that shortly, so keep an eye on it.
Oh, Dave Sherman, up to no good. What's that?
Josh, who is your composer on the film?
Anna Drubich, who is so badass. She composed Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark and the Fear Street trilogy, which dropped today, or the first in the Fear Street trilogy.
One.
So yeah, she is my wonderful Russian buddy from another mother. She's a total genius, and we have similar music tastes. And she actually pulled an orchestra together, a live orchestra together in Moscow. So we actually had a full several piece orchestra to give it this kind of Jerry Goldsmith sort of sound.
Yeah, mission accomplished. The score is great.
It is.
Ooh, I've got some trivia for you.
Oh, tell us.
Can anybody guess who's the voice on the radio?
Is it your fiance?
Way older and was on a TV show in the 70s that might rhyme with beers.
Oh, from Cheers?
Rhea Perlman?
Rhea Perlman.
Wow.
That's
Rhea Perlman is the
awesome!
voice of
Rhea
the motivational
Perlman.
speaker in Finn's Radio.
That's so cool. I love
Great
it.
cameo.
I love that Rhea Perlman is chanting balls.
Rhea Perlman
Also,
is in Werewolves Within. You can say that officially.
I got such a laugh out of him driving a PT Cruiser. That was really funny to me. That was a very special touch that I was like, okay, people are paying attention here.
You can't not have open a movie with your hero driving a PT Cruiser. I mean,
It's so
is there a better car?
though. It's so
Is there,
right.
name a better car. Oh. I like that he's trying.
There's our phallic Midland gas.
Very
pipeline.
phallic.
Mm-hmm. And there's Spillian. You can have your wedding there. This is in Fleischmann's, New York.
Oh! Wait, so that's an actual inn?
Yeah. That's an
Nice.
actual inn. Yep, Spillian and Fleischmann's. Tell them Josh sent you.
There you go.
God, it took a while to figure out this cuckoo clock gag, and it's so brief and so subtle.
Oh no. Oh, the radio mentioned the storm.
Mm-hmm. That's the voice of our editor, Brett Bachman, who also edited
Nice.
Mandy, which is really badass.
Oh, Mandy. Wow, yeah. That movie was a ride.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was.
This was like the first shot of the movie, I think.
Really?
Oh, was it?
If it wasn't this setup, it was the one that's about to happen after the fact. But yeah, it was a nice way to start with a smaller crew, smaller cast, ease the first day jitters.
Definitely. I love their back and forth. Just a heads up, y'all, that the current time code is now updated, so make sure that your time code is matching with ours. Just past 7 minutes into the film. And you should see our friends walking up the stairs right now.
I very much, that line about the man who doesn't want to conquer nature doesn't understand it, that like definitely stuck in my head. It was almost even like a little Deep Blue Sea moment for me, where I was like, oh,
Wow.
interesting.
Wow.
You know what I mean? But also, I just don't share that philosophy about nature, so I was like, that's interesting. I don't know if I agree with him.
That's so funny because when you said Deep Blue Sea, I thought of Heart of the Sea, the novel, and you mean the shark movie with Samuel L. Jackson.
Deepest, bluest,
and
and
yeah,
eyes like a shark
LL
fin.
Cool J.
That's the one.
Yep.
yeah.
That's the song.
But thank you for giving me credit for, I'm assuming, a very lovely novel that is not about.
I'm sure it
making
is. I read at
smart
least
sharks.
20 pages. I wonder if this song is on the Werewolves Within album, which is out also, along with all of Anna
Ooh.
Drubic's incredible score. I think I'm going to have to buy it. No big deal.
No big deal, whatever.
Go for it.
One of the few scenes where we captured real snowfall, by the way.
Oh, wow. Oh, that looks good.
There's a scene a little bit later where Finn is standing on the porch, and I did actively know, I was like, oh, there's no snow. I wonder if they shot it on a stage, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? But so that's funny that you say that this is one of the only ones. Also, it just looks so
I think
picturesque.
2 or 3 where we got, real snow. Oh, what could that mean?
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Why Belize, of all places?
Mr. Wolfe, I don't know. She had a vision. She had a vision.
I love that he knows so much about snowshoes.
He loves snowshoeing. Finn loves snowshoeing. I hope one day when this is like the midnight movie and it overtakes Gremlins, that people will just wear a snowshoe like graphic tee and people will know immediately that it's a reference to this billion-dollar film.
I think that is a very attainable goal.
We're now in downtown Phoenicia. This is a store called The Home that we turned into the yoga studio of Devin and Joachim Wolfson.
Wolfson.
I was just here yesterday.
I feel like Harvey and Cheyenne were really inspired casting. They are
so
good. Well, again,
they're so good.
Harvey was the one to suggest Cheyenne. That was super inspiring, and Gail for Harvey, and George suggested Sarah, who's a total genius. This was the hardest day of filming probably for me because we had to do several scenes outside before the sun went down, including this one, including the one you saw previous, and 2 ahead.
Wow, it's a big day.
That's a long day.
Yeah.
It's a lot. Well, especially in the winter when obviously the days are shorter. And so it's like...
This was a beautiful day, too. I mean, at least it wasn't terribly cold. Oh, there she is. There's Michaela.
I love Michaela Watkins.
Yeah, I'm just obsessed with her. She's so funny.
She's a wonderful human
good.
being, and she's a comedic. And she was the one to sort of pick all the different accoutrements for her hair.
Oh, I love that. All about the small details.
Yes.
Just a little casual racism from Trish Anderton.
Oh boy.
That dog.
That dog.
Yep, that's Ritz.
Chachi.
Papillon.
Ritz.
Yep, Ritz was great. We held him when he wasn't on camera. We just all had to be holding him.
Aw.
Like Paris Hilton.
He's adorable. He is a very cute dog, I gotta say.
Oh my goodness. That hair.
That also made me laugh. That was one of my favorite jokes.
Oh boy. Some town drama.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So subtle.
Mm-hmm. Just a little casual visual comedic anatomy. And here's some real snow. This is one of my favorite Anna transitions. This is real
That's
snow.
nice.
Yeah. Oh, wait, is that right? Maybe it was the next scene. This might be the fake stuff, which also looks pretty good. This is the real
looks
one.
pretty good.
Yeah, this is the real stuff. Pretty good transition. Smartest thing our wardrobe designers did, or the inspired thing, was they sprinkled snow starch on the wardrobe to transition from these scenes and make it look as if they were actually outside. I was like, oh, genius.
That's so smart.
Snowflakes.
Wow, clever.
Yeah. Nice little trick. Uh-oh, Charlotte's calling.
That ringtone.
That was such a poor Finn. Charlotte, get out of here.
Charlotte's voiced by another friend who lives in the Hudson Valley, my buddy Annie Kruger,
Nice.
who came in and took different photos we didn't end up using that would have been on the insert of Finn's phone, like ridiculous selfies where he looked kind of like a little dead inside when they were cheek to cheek. I'm bummed that we didn't get to use them, but you do hear her on the other end of the line.
Okay, now, wait a second. I have to tell you that I looked up, no, IMDb. I want to be sure that I get it right. Glenn, is it Fleshler?
Fleshler. Yeah.
Okay, now.
The Yellow King from True Detective.
Exactly.
Oh my god! I just made that connection.
I truly did not recognize
And Barry
him.
and Joker. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
no, he looks like Jason
Wow.
Momoa. It's crazy.
Yeah, I did not recognize him at all under all of the stuff.
Yep, we gave him a beard and a wig, and he looks like Jason Momoa's brother.
He does. He really does.
Is that a bear hat? Oh, it's so good.
This was, yeah, Big Bear.
Love it.
There's our red-tailed hawk.
Oh, I love this place. The Axe Den.
This set was awesome. Was this a real place you
Woodstock
found, or
Film
did they build
Stages.
it?
No. This is built in Woodstock Film Studios, which is the same location we actually shot the musical sequence in Scare Me, my first film, where we had no money, just enough money to put up a black curtain. And here, Matt Hyland and Brett Tanzer built an entire bar. So this is right on Route 28 on the way from Woodstock, New York to Kingston, like halfway between Kingston and Woodstock. All build.
Yeah, they knocked this out of the park. This definitely looked like a lodge that you could stay in, or a bar or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
This song is still a bop. Ace of Base.
Oh, yeah. This has a deep meaning, actually. Ace of Base was the song that played on the radio when my older sister, Rachel, asked me, her 9-year-old brother, if I wanted to go see Jason Goes to Hell, and it came on the radio on the way to the movie theater. And that was a big day for me, because I was like, oh my god, my big sister is going to take me to the movie theater to see this Jason movie. Big horror memory.
That's great. Nice.
Yeah. a little Me Too joke, for the kids.
Topical, very topical.
Gotta be,
Oh, Charlotte.
Josh, was there time for you to and the cast to rehearse, or did you just have to keep it kind of very fresh on set and just go?
We rehearsed all the big scenes. So every scene you see with 10, 11, 8 people, we did a big rehearsal together. But for scenes like this, though, like I stayed at a little cabin right near Spillian where we shot the Beaverfield Lodge. And Sam and Milana came and read scenes with me. It felt very like Mike Nicholsy. It felt very, very important. And it felt so cool to have these like 2 stars come to the director's cabin and like read their script. And then actually they're stuck in the snow. And so Sam and I had to like push as Milana like hit the gas. My driveway was deadly. So yeah, we had some like 2-on-1 days together, but we had a big rehearsal day for the major castings, and otherwise, yeah, folks just kind of we wung it.
Yeah, these two specifically have such a great like rapport. A great rhythm together.
Yeah. This is all one shot that they just absolutely killed.
Oh, wow.
You can just see it's basically going to be this slow creep.
That's impressive.
Half the job is casting.
Axe throwing is not easy. Have either of you done axe throwing?
I have.
Yeah, not easy at all. And it's a quick way to be embarrassed. Still one take.
Was that the goal, or did it just happen that way?
It just happened that way. We were running out of time. We were like, the best way. I was going to cover this totally differently. I was like, holy shit, I think we can do this in a oneer all the way through the maybe kiss. And now we got a little Savage Garden. Oh, Charlotte.
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 Could have been such a nice moment, Charlotte.
Char. Back off.
Cha-cha, why?
I guess to be fair, it would be cheating. I guess it would.
Check me out now in the chat says, you read my butt, LMAO, cast is on point so far. Kudos, Josh. I've got good feelings about this movie.
Thank goodness we got a fan of that Forever Midnight movie. I want to I want to dethrone Joe Dante.
Midnight
I want to be
showings.
Josh Dante.
Let's go.
Yeah. Oh my God. This scene we had to shoot in like 5 minutes. Michaela had to get on a plane because she was doing press for the No Way Back movie she did with Ben Affleck. And I was like, cool, well, we'll shoot it from this low angle and then get your reactions and hope for the best.
Ooh.
Let's see if you can guess when the sun was coming up.
I have to say
bye,
that
Ritz.
as a dog owner, I was shocked. I had never, but maybe it's because I've also never lived in very cold climates. But the idea of just like letting the dog go out but staying inside, is that something that people do?
I mean, Trish is like
Some
she was one of the
people.
first Karens on film.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think a Karen would. I think like a Karen would put their little Papillon and like, smoke a cigarette, but now she gets what she deserves.
All right. We're going to see what happens here. Then we've got a new guest coming in to join us for the stream.
Oh.
And with that, now joining the party is the star of the movie right there on screen, Sam Richardson. Hey, Sam, thanks for joining us. Sam,
Hey guys.
Sam, you're just in time for the watch
excited to
party.
join you guys.
We just lost
Sam, I don't know if I'm
Chachi.
allowed to say I'm drinking a Founders, but I might be. I don't know.
You're fine. You're fine.
Okay.
Sam, we just lost Chachi. That's where we're at in the
A
film
tragic
right
moment
now.
in the movie.
Oh, yes. Do you have the same link as us? Are you seeing
I
it?
do. I'm watching with you. I'm
Great.
right along with you.
Getting ready for that special reveal, that special scientist.
Oh, I love it very much. Harvey Gann is so funny.
He is.
Everyone,
He
truly.
is.
Maybe a possum.
There's Dr. Ellis.
What a reveal.
And inspired.
Yeah.
I think this was like an on the fly. This was a total on the fly composition find.
It was really
Like,
good.
oh my God, we would totally hide her behind him.
I like how she just pops into frame sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's magic.
The dodge.
Yeah. It's real smooth. I think the sound between the sound and Edgar Wright. Edgar.
Edgar Wright moment.
Inspired.
This is the best one sound delivery on the planet.
Sam, how
Who
was
can
it for
spot
you
the
being
fake
out in the
snow?
elements like this? Was it like freezing,
Yeah, with the
freezing?
snow.
So, I mean, secretly it would go between, right? Sometimes it would be very cold, and sometimes it would just be a regular day, and we had to fake the snow.
Mm-hmm. Movie magic.
This was the day that
Movie
the
magic.
snow machine was going off when Sam had this line, which is one line, heavens to Betsy.
Heavens
And we
to
had
Betsy.
to turn the snow machine off. And the snow guy would just kept the machine going. And we were like, Jerry, you got to turn the machine off. And he had really bad hearing. Jerry, the snow guy. We're like, huh?
Yeah.
Jerry!
Ah,
Snow
so you want more snow? Like, Jerry, the snow
More?
off.
Okay.
No!
You want to snow off? All right. I'll win every time.
More?
As an actor, these moments are just so much fun to get to be like that, sort of detective-y, discovering
Gravity.
something that's amiss. The gravity, exactly.
Yeah. Huh.
And this was a very cold day, by the way. It's freezing.
Oh, no.
Yes, this was no joke.
Yeah.
Sam, Josh was telling us that like Hot Fuzz and Clue were kind of inspirations for, the movie. Did you watch anything in preparation? Was there any like homework that you did, getting ready to come to set?
Well, I know Hot Fuzz and Clue pretty much by heart, so those are already ingrained into
So that's
my
good.
sort of, my DNA. And honestly, I just kind of like felt a little bit of like Arrested Development. Like I want to watch how
Totally.
Jason Bateman interacts with the cavalcade of characters, and like want to try and bring some of that to it.
Nice.
Yes.
Oh, I can see
Whoa.
that. Yeah, that's great. Uh-oh.
I can totally see that.
No. That's such a good scream.
Kathy. It's Kathy with the
How many
scream.
times did she have to do that scream?
The double gun.
Only a few, but we'd prep all of us by being like, okay, I'm gonna start this by doing just a little bit of bullshit, and then I'm gonna do this scream bullshit, and then I'm gonna pull this down, I'm gonna do more bullshit. And I didn't know what the code words meant, and then she would just do it by shrieking, and it was very, very funny. This was a very cold day.
Yes, it was. There's another Rebecca pop up.
Yeah, I like that she just pops in.
So funny.
Doctor lady?
Anyway.
Another gravity mom.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Getting some nice comments in the chat. Raphael87 said, such a good movie, saw it in theaters last weekend. And Hookie121 said that Sam's an awesome choice for the lead role, and also congrats to the director.
Hookie, thank you.
I agree, Raphael.
I agree.
And Raphael, yeah.
Raphael, come on, man. George Basil.
George Basil.
Harvey's like, we're trying to have a baby.
Yeah.
That's his reason that he doesn't want to go.
Yeah. Criminally long. This is such a great performance from Sam. I love when you like take her elbow here. This is my favorite.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's a rough skeleton crew day up the hill.
Mm-hmm. And like we're walking up a hill with a camera, like, and the whole crew like walking backwards, while we do this.
Ice.
And on ice,
Yeah, this is my favorite. Ha.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
This is one of those scenes where in the edit, everyone was like, maybe we should lean into a little more plot exposition and build in a bunch of ADR, and I was so resistant. But it somehow worked so well because during the test screening, people were like, I don't understand. I just want to make sure I understand what happens if the pipeline gets built, but what does Trish want? What does Gwen and Marcus want? And I was like, we tested. It was like so many ADR, like iPhone recordings, you know?
Oh, wow. Because that all had to be done remotely. Yeah.
Yeah, and it came together. I can't believe it.
Look at Dr. Ellis's
Sam, you
remote
just saw
science
Rebecca,
lab.
yeah?
What do you say?
Did you just saw Rebecca, yeah?
Yeah, we're out in Atlanta together. Not
nice.
together. We're out in Atlanta in the same place, and then we see each other
In the same
together.
I'm jelly.
Yeah, I know, it's fun. She's so incredible.
I'm going to find out.
About comedy crushes, I laugh at everything she does because she's so specific and precise and hilarious.
Yes. Another comedic superhero. It's the technical proficiency. It's just it's theater world Rebecca.
Oh. There's the moment that's later on where she surprises Catherine. It's one of the funniest moments in the whole funniest line reads in the whole movie.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Horrible sound you just made.
I love that very quick line about how Cecily was in a punk band called Megalodons.
Yeah.
It's quick and you miss it, but the second time I saw it, I was like, that's really cute. She's like, yeah, I'm punk.
I love this firehead devil halo.
Oh. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Oof. That Emerson Flint gets me.
Yeah.
Emerson's got a great voice. Did you give Glenn any direction on how his talking voice should be for this character?
I feel like I didn't talk to Glenn. Glenn was like, I'm down to put on a beard and hair. And I was like, sir, if you wouldn't mind, I was so afraid he would Yellow King me from True Detective. No, he just brought it. He just totally.
It's so good.
That's just what he did. It was very little to tell Glenn. I was terrified.
Yeah.
He's so funny. And then you'd sit with him at lunch and he'd be like, eating a sandwich, getting everything caught in his beard, just like regaling stories of like working with like Michael Shannon and like, and then he's like with like Joaquin Phoenix and he's just the sweetest dude ever.
I always love seeing actors kind of step outside maybe for what you would think they are known for. And that was, again, a big surprise for me, like putting the pieces together after I watched the movie for the first time and being like, wow, and he's so funny. Like, he's so funny, but also so scary.
But on Barry, I mean, he's insane on Barry. He's so funny.
Mm-hmm.
He's There's a visual cut here I kind of fought for. They were like, why are you going to set up an entirely profile shot? And I was like, I promise you this is going to work. I promise you.
I'm so glad you fought for this.
Keep him soft focused. And they were like, I'm not sure. I was like, I promise you. Please.
Lane's the joke. Oh, it's perfect.
Right. This was an improv scene.
That was good.
No, that's right.
Uh-oh.
This was a fun series of timing bits that I loved doing.
It's a full-on comp of the Zodiac scene, the projectionist.
Yes, it's totally that.
We're just gonna get going.
Do you ever have any inclination when you're shooting this stuff like, oh, that's going in the trailer? Like, that's the trailer scene.
Not shooting it. Shooting it is just trying not to crap my pants and get everything in the can. But looking at the edit, it's like, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, you can see it.
How things come together.
Yeah, this is such a good example of what we were talking about earlier with like the tableau and making sure everybody kind of gets there, hits those marks, and the energy is still there though. I mean, it's kind of like, it's pretty amazing.
Like each one of these frames should be painted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, okay, team, we got one camera and 1 hour. Let's figure it out. And everybody just killed it every time. So everybody's, oh, here's this magical moment. First of all, if you look closely, she's spilling tears.
Aww.
Mm-hmm.
Before the great comedic break.
That's the type of stuff where I'm like, how is that not improvised? How is that, I mean, you know.
With the hand?
No, with the dialogue. That was an absolutely horrible sound.
I can't remember if that was in the script or it might have been in the script, but this was like one of those, poor Rebecca, she always had like the hour. I can't remember. Sam, I can't remember if like that little thing or like any of the Mr. Rogers stuff. I feel like it was like a late ad. Like between all the little stuff, I can't remember.
Mr. Rogers stuff was late ad.
Late,
yeah. Late, yeah.
So
like
the quote was, like, oh, the theme. I think, I think the theme is about community. We'll just, we're shooting tomorrow.
That tapestry with the head of the wolf on the, was that like specially made for the movie, or is that something they found, or do you know?
I have to text Brett Tanzer, our brilliant production designer. When I saw that, I was like, no, yeah. If Mark and Lee, they were like, you should check out the upstairs. Sleep tight.
A lot of people have gone missing.
Well, with the last name Wolfe, I always notice wolf things, and so I was like, I have to. Where is that what is that tapestry? I must know.
You should talk to Misha.
Yes, exactly. I'm sure she can relate. You know, I think the Arrested Development comparison is actually really great because this is my second time watching the movie this week. And similar to Arrested Development, you can always look in the background and find something, not in a distracting way, but like there's a lot going on in the scene. And that's so fun for the rewatch.
Absolutely. Yeah. I feel like on the second rewatch, it's just like you're looking for clues that time around. Or just lines you missed and jokes that you didn't hear the first time. That's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's tiny.
With guns.
Brilliant improv. The perfect. Rebecca's whole Dr. Ellis's computer graphics are total Jurassic. I said I want Jurassic Park 1992 vibes.
That's what it felt like. That is exactly what it
Fully
feels
old
like.
graphics. And then like with this brilliant face to work with like Anna Drupic's composition, like
So good. I love it.
This is legit. This turned out legitimately creepy. Like watching it on a big screen with the sound of the thing thumping up the stairs. I love the guns,
Yeah,
the lights. So
this is
much.
creepy.
Yeah, watching it every time, I'm like, oh, ha.
Finn's asleep with the finger on the trigger of that gun too. Just not used to using firearms.
Just talking down like a drunk dad at a campsite. Never ever pulled the firearms.
Yeah, totally.
He's such a good like disarmer.
Mm-hmm.
Here's our stunt guy, Tony Vincent, pulling Michael's arm out of its socket. No, he didn't really do that, but tugging him very, very violently in this hallway.
Yeah.
Ooh. Gwen's a badass.
Oh my God, Sam! Remember how tight this hallway was?
It's so tight.
It looks
There's like
very narrow.
Incredibly.
Like no
you can
room
get
and
the
no
camera
time.
tracks in there. Yeah.
Oh. Owen Greenwich Young, big shout out to our sound designer who like dropped out the atmosphere and brought in that like underwater creeping cerebral vibe for Dr. Ellis. Just boom.
Oh, for those asking from Australia, you can check it out in theaters in Australia. It is available there.
What?
In theaters in Australia.
Cool. Very cool.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
So I have a question. I don't know if this is a good time to ask it, but the red herring, directing a movie with red herrings. Josh, do you have thoughts on this? Because that is hard to freaking do. And I'm just curious. Anything stand out like?
I mean, this is a coloring book. Like Misha Wolfe like made a coloring book, and I feel like it was unfair. I sort of just shot everything and let people do their things. There was, I mean, everybody does have their Agatha Christie eyebrow raise moment. Everyone is implicated. Like even Finn is implicated. Like everyone has their like, could they be?
Everyone's a suspect.
But you know, yeah, it wasn't. That was the red herring of it all. Wasn't the hard part. The hard part was like, you know, giving everyone the time to do their thing and the crunch that we did it in. But part of it too is like, you know, you play in the edit with bring it all together with the style, with the music and the sound design.
Right.
Everything is like, ooh, there's a cosmic dread here.
Ooh.
Yep.
But yes, it is hard.
Audiences are just so savvy. And so, you know, I always appreciate when you can conceal and unravel a mystery.
Yeah. Oh, this is scary to shoot.
Oof.
Explosives.
Squibs.
Ooh.
What that eyeball say? Finn trying to rally everybody. Things just totally unraveling.
Oh no.
Oh, Janine.
She suspects something.
Mm-hmm.
He's so good.
I love Harvey.
And I love that he's
definitely improv.
He's now worked with werewolves, vampires.
Yes.
So we got to get him some witches.
And Jack Reacher.
Yeah, Jack Reacher.
Jack Reacher, yeah. Get him some mummies and more Jack Reachers, and we'll have a set.
Okay.
The Wendigo. That's such a good exchange.
Like there's something very specific about like everybody saying hands in like rhythm of comedy.
Mm-hmm.
It was very rhythmic.
Yeah.
It was like, we got, okay, let's, and then you, we found it, I think, on the day. We're like, took a minute. I love a good forcing a title in a movie, and yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When werewolves are
within. He said it. He said the title.
I love a good
have a
title.
titular.
You know, the Fast Nine of it all. You know, the Fast Nine.
The Fast Nine of it all.
My favorite line in that
Family,
movie.
Because today truly is Ferris Bueller's day off. Went through all this trouble to get this like gnarled tree stump table, which is like the key set piece in the game, and I think we barely see it.
But
I
you
made
knew
my
it was there.
production design. Oh, there it is. There you see it a little bit.
It's there.
It's a little shinier than in the game.
Yeah. But like also this scene is
Gotta
very
give him an
much
Easter egg.
just the game being played, you know?
Yes. This
Then this creepy.
ha.
Everyone's a werewolf.
I love I love his reaction to fighting. He's like, you dumb.
Just like the pain in his back from the pain in his hand.
Into the chair.
Into the chair, yeah.
She's so good.
Yeah, Kathy.
Harvey's line right there.
You have clothes made me laugh. Oh my god, made me laugh out loud.
Finn trying to, I can't even comfort you.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
I do.
nail this hit. Boom.
Now, there was a specific place I was supposed to throw this.
Oh, was there?
Like, do you mind this one prop right here? Brett Bachman, our editor, put Captain America music under the speech for our rough cut, and we're like, "Oh, Anna, would you mind replicating this perfect French horn speech?" It's such a Captain America. Finn can't even process it. Who are these people? Oh, you're just gonna totally undercut? Okay. You're gonna undercut everything?
Okay.
Okay.
That's a strategy.
That craft
boy.
store.
Mm.
And for those
They'll
of you
get
who
theirs.
joined the stream late, don't worry about it because we will have this as a VOD on our YouTube page later so you can watch what you missed later. So don't worry about it. But thanks for hanging out with us.
What would you say that you spent the longest time shooting, Josh? Was it the finale? I know we don't want to spoil anything, obviously, but
The longest time shooting.
sorry. I guess what I
That's
mean
a
is
great question.
because it's such a fast and it seems like it was such a fast process. Like, what I was just curious, what sequence or what scene, you had the most time on set to capture.
I think it actually, Sam, wasn't it the ending? Like the ending, like face off? I think I want to
so.
say it was. Because it was like 2
Yeah.
days. We're like, we have 2 days to do. If it wasn't that, it was like the accusation scene. Like, I
Yeah,
think.
I was gonna say it's between those two.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a lot of stuff happening at the end, of course, but
Right.
the detail of everybody being in the a huge group scene where everybody has their moment kind of took time.
Yeah.
Two really good scary entrances.
The old double pump freak out.
The old double freak out. Get Milan on the left. Kathy Curtin. Kathy Curtin on the right. Go back to your room. It's so funny to watch this and think about my shot list. Like all the shots, it was like, oh man, it's gonna suck if I can't get the insert of the door, which you're like, oh bummer. And then you put it together, like, oh, we didn't need the insert of the door.
Like
I wish I thought of that.
How are we going to get the door?
Yeah, we're not going to get the doorknob, dude. Buddy. Yeah, just total. Just the Jeff Bridges, losing. Well, how are we going to make the day? Dude. Here's our... Here's fan being implicated. What could it mean?
Especially considering what happens later, this scene is interesting on rewatch. It's kind of like a mirror of what comes later.
This was the hands down coldest beat of the shoot. I think it was like -15 or something.
That's cold. Ooh.
Yeah, it was no joke.
Oh, Trish. Trish, how could you?
Michaela was the one who told Janai, our hairstylist, she's like, I have to have these hair accoutrement. This makes it extra terrifying. The little pom-poms.
That she probably made herself, all things considered.
Right.
She does love a craft
True.
store.
Absolutely. This was another really fun oneer. Great timing shot. We only had 2 to do.
Yep.
And I love the timing of Parker looking around at the sound design, like seeing his night vision goggles. You hear the little like Counter-Strike, Call of Duty, Call of Duty buzz. These guys just, it's like shadows that were there the whole time.
Step and look.
It's such a Goonies, like,
Good, exactly.
We gotta get out of here.
Music.
Yeah.
Perfectly. Now, I'm truly arachnophobic.
Oh.
And here we are underneath.
But you love shooting under
under the deck,
under the real
board. Oh no! Did you see any spiders down there?
Spider eggs aplenty.
Oh
and
no!
So this is the most uncomfortable I've ever been filming anything.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Help to play into the fear of the moment.
It's good for the shot. It's good for the shot.
I'm barely acting here.
So method. So method.
You look scared.
Yeah.
I think it was the one like calcified one that I saw anyway. I was like, okay, no, I understand that. How can we please do this in the one take?
They don't want to be out in the cold. Those spiders were hiding deep inside. They didn't want to come out. In the summer, though, then you don't want to get under there.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
This also made me laugh. This was ridiculous.
I love shooting this scene.
Yeah, this is one of my favorites.
You guys are so funny. My work shirt. Oh my God. This is also all like 3 o'clock in the morning on the cold night.
Mm-hmm.
We're all so tired.
Do you remember how many days you shot, Josh?
At least 2 days. 2 days less than I wanted to shoot. 23?
Okay.
23. I think it was 23. Yeah.
Oh,
it was tight. It took all night to get that right. Not that long.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Have you worked with your special effects team before?
There's one vendor we went to, Mechanism they were called, that actually just did the titles on my first movie. That was all we could afford. And they do the Righteous Gemstones.
Love it.
And they did some work on our show, and then there were a couple of others. There was like a snow person, there was like the blood person, and then there was like everything else, like the werewolf stuff. Not to give anything away.
Yeah, it was a werewolf.
She's just full Karen here, just full unhinged Karen.
Oof.
Ooh.
Oh.
Just a scratch.
Now, this was another thing about timing.
Yeah. Big timing one.
Stepping on that, going back in the corner, and then like trying to step between them to open that door and get the line in between here.
And then to come up and continue the scene.
Mm-hmm.
There was almost no real snow on the ground. This is like a testament. Our weather people on this scene did such an incredible job.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have ever guessed that.
Crazy VFX on this whole thing. Even like through Harvey's flashlight. That's all fake, which is insane.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh. Oh no.
Harvey's alt death here was 5, 6, 7. All good girls go to heaven. And then he fell over.
That's funny.
I really wanted it. I really wanted the
Batman
Batman
Returns.
Returns.
Yeah.
I wanted a little Batman
Yeah.
Returns here.
So we gotta
Producer's
get
like,
Sam the
"Yeah,
89.
maybe not.
4 or
maybe."
5. Still alive.
Yeah. I want to live in your castle, Bruce.
I couldn't live with myself.
Uh-oh.
Oof.
Oof.
Ooh. Oh my god. Yeah, the bear spray.
A big fight over the bear spray. Remember that, Josh?
Oh yeah. Oh man.
Ooh.
It was one of those things where
That was fun.
Sam and I were talking about. I was like, that timing has got to be like right on the money, and then also like explaining to the producers, like, I promise you, we don't need to spend money on like a truck of oil, like cut to a digital explosion from 500 miles away. I promise.
Exactly.
Right? Like,
It says everything. You see a little flash from far away, and it says so much more.
You don't need anything. Yeah. The Animaniacs version of it is, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And more fitting for the movie, I would say. Like the tone, the overall tone of the movie.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, also we just couldn't have done it. We would have blown up Phoenicia, New York.
Yeah. Should have been costly to say the least.
Hometown hero blows up town. No longer hometown hero. Now, I'm not pulling any M. Night Shyamalan here, but the Monster Squad green I talked about when Sam Parker was underlit by it, it recurs here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Matt just wanted to do it, and I didn't even think about it. I was like, oh, well, yeah, I mean, you got to have more Monster Squad green. I mean, it looked great. But I think Matt was like, no, we should do more Monster Squad green.
Wink, wink.
I was like, yeah, that'd be a good idea, Matt. Yeah, it looked good. This Fincher light.
Yeah, that's a very Zodiac shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, this is beautiful. Sam, do you ever like get self-conscious about watching your own stuff? Do you ever like go to the theater and you're like, I don't like, is this weird? Do you like, is it ever weird, or are you okay with it?
It's a little bit of both, right? Because I'm always like, oh, what a small detail! I should have done this and should have done that. But I feel it's also good to see that, and like next time I'm like, oh, I'll be very conscious of like how I like hold my shoulders to, you know, sort of like signify like fear, like all those like little detail things. But this one I'm perfect in, so I'm happy.
Yes, you are.
You're so good in this. Yeah, you're great in this.
Yeah, I mean,
it's all coming together.
Yeah. I was watching so much talk about Jason Bateman. I was watching The Outsider while we were filming this.
Yes.
Like I'd watch it on the weekends, and there was so much soft focus rack business. I just was like, oh, I saw it on Sunday. Maybe we'll try it on. It's so beautiful. This is like one of my favorite shots in the movie. The lens flare.
I loved that little touch. I loved the shot of the feet.
Oh yeah.
Especially
creepy,
from
right?
Like from
Very
a horror
creepy.
perspective too. It's like you got to show how are you going to dole out the little monster bits, you know? And that was one that I was like, that's cool. We don't see that one a lot.
Yeah. Talk about things you wish you'd done. Like I every time I watch this, I'm like, we should have made the axe den sign go bzz, bzz, bzz. You know, we should have made it like flicker a little bit. I'm like, oh, why do we know now?
Yeah. What happened?
You're just gonna have to go back
and
and do a recut, special director's
Yeah, we'll do
cut.
the Spielberg repass on ET and just make everything look really digital.
All walkie-talkies.
Put ET ship and everything. Yeah, walkie-talkie. Yeah.
Who here has a walkie-talkie? Show of hands.
Yeah, America, yes, sir, America, yes.
She's not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Clever girl.
Clever girl.
Oh, Finn.
It's just so brilliant.
It's a good line.
Mm-hmm. This was such a
Good
great
line.
few days because it was just the three of us, you know.
Say it, Finn.
Great speech, great monologue. So good.
It is okay to be nice.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And it's like the first time he said it his whole life.
Ooh.
When we were at Tribeca, the person behind me went, "Oh my God, yes."
Emerson.
Oh my God, yes. Yeah.
Oh no. Ooh, she's strong.
Mm-hmm. Sam, did I just read that in Tomorrow War you pop both like your knee? Was it your hamstring on one of your knee? Hamstring.
So I
made
tore my meniscus on my knee,
Ooh.
and then I was like I was recovering from. So yeah, so like I felt Tomorrow War before this. So then I had 2 hamstring tears.
Oh no.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, would you mind crouching behind this? Had no idea.
Yeah.
That little doggy squeak was just like such a good touch.
That's Owen Greenwich Young, our sound designer. Brilliant.
Nice.
Most reliable means of transportation.
This is my favorite.
On the snow ride.
So good, Sam.
So fucking good. You're crying here. He's like, all right, I'm gonna get up.
He's okay.
Give me a
Wolfe
hand, will ya?
Wolf versus Bear.
I'm the Yellow
I guess
King.
Bear wins. Yeah.
Wait a minute, you're the Yellow King.
Hey,
Of course he's fine.
Isn't time a flat circle?
Time is a flat circle.
You're a serial killer. Hey, that's Milana Weintraub.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Well,
I do appreciate all the sandwich talk in this movie. There's a lot of talk of sandwiches.
It's making me hungry.
It's Janine's thing, you know. Not to give it away.
Yes, Janine.
She's so great.
So good.
So great.
Oh, so good.
Wonderful.
Amazing. So good. Oh my God. So great. Great job, y'all.
That was
Loved
wonderful.
it. Loved it.
Yeah, this was so fun, you guys.
Thank you for doing this. Yeah, we've got some final questions before we wrap up and say goodbye. So, Sam, I loved seeing you in the leading role. What was it like taking the lead role in this movie?
It was a really fun experience and a great challenge. I think I kind of tried to emulate some of the other, people who I've been in an ensemble with who've been leaders. Like Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and sort of that, like, how are you the lead of an ensemble piece, and like everybody has their, like to like sort of play with the energy of like making sure that you are the energy that is still like steering it, because especially like Finn, like this is his role is to keep everybody in the space, but like not to cap people who are like, not to cap the energies and like the reason why everybody else is there. I feel sometimes you can watch actors who are in like the lead, and they're like, well, no, nobody gets the joke but me, so everybody shut up and then I do the thing, and then you kind of like help my thing. But it was like interesting exercise in that.
Nice. Question for all of you here. Were you surprised by who the werewolf was when you first found out, and who was your top suspect before the reveal?
I mean, when I read the script, I can tell you I didn't see it coming. But the way Misha puts it was like, no one ever suspects the woman, which is kind of funny and to think about. Just kind of, Misha's outlook. It's like, it's like the there's like I won't be able to think of the joke, but the punchline of the joke is that the doctor is a woman, and most people can't it's like you can't come to that conclusion. It's like, oh, the doctor's a woman. The killer's a woman,
Like, whereas the joke was like a man and his son are in a car accident, and they go to the hospital.
Yeah.
And the doctor comes out and says, "I'm sorry, I can't operate on this person. It's my son." And everybody's like, "Well, wait a minute, isn't the son in the car accident also?" And like, so nobody can figure out. Like, no, it's the mom who's the doctor.
Yep, exactly. And it's it's still kind of a tried and true thing, the things I guess too, that the next tier of that is like, the child couldn't have done it, if you look at the orphan, it reminds me though of like one of the comps that Milana talked about when we had our like first phone call, like asking if she'd be interested, was the talented Mr. Ripley. And I was like, whoa, I haven't heard that reference. She was like, oh no, this is a sociopath, like Tom Ripley. And I was like, okay, cool. You want to do it? Like, you understand the reference better, because she's like, she is manipulating everybody at every level in the most malicious way. And then that one time she needs to like maul, in the rowboat or way she does. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here, everyone. And thank you guys for watching on Twitch. Thanks for being a part of our watch party. So let's say goodbye to our panel. Clarke, tell us about TWD Universe and what you do there.
Yeah, so we are the home of all things Walking Dead. We are the official Walking Dead Twitch channel. And with the big show coming to a close in this season, we have lots of great Walking Dead specific content, but we also love all things Walking Dead adjacent, like horror, which is what I do. So every week I do a show called Wolfe's Call, which is a deep dive into a horror movie. So please join us if you're interested in screenwriting, if you're interested in filmmaking, if you're interested in The Walking Dead, and so on. You can find us at twitch.tv/TWD Universe. And thank you all so much for letting me be a part of this. This movie was so fun, and I'm so happy that I got to experience it with you all, to giving all that behind the scenes insight. It was great.
Yeah, it was so much fun. Thank you so much. And also to Josh and Sam, thank you for being here and providing commentary and insight. Werewolves Within was such a fun ride. Do you have any final words for the audience or anything you want to plug?
I so much for watching with us. Tell your friends to watch as well if you enjoyed it. If you didn't enjoy it, tell your enemies to watch it and rent it.
Tell all your enemies to pay full price. And by the way, I probably shouldn't be doing this, but you want to have the ultimate double feature. Werewolves Within is now on VOD, and so is the Tomorrow War. You want to have a Sam Richardson double feature on demand.
Double feature.
Yes.
It's double Sam Day.
Yeah, like real deal. Yeah, big time.
But Werewolves Within is my true love. You know, they were doing a live thing at the same time as this, but I was like, well, no, I can. I want to be here with my true love, Werewolves Within.
Oh, it's so special. We feel so lucky.
Yay! We're very lucky to have you here. Thank you so much.
And a call from Amazon. I'm in big trouble. No.
Oh, Mr. Bezos.
Amazing.
Hey, Bezos.
Thank you
It's
both.
okay.
And also,
Twitch too, so it's where you're good.
and check out Josh's other movie, Scare Me, as well, if you haven't seen it yet. It's a good time. All right, I'm Chastity from Ubisoft News. If you join the stream late, don't worry, because it's going up on VOD on our YouTube page. So if you join late, you'll be able to watch all of our commentary from the beginning, and also an interview we had with Josh at the beginning as well. So we also stream right here on twitch.tv/Ubisoft every Wednesday and Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So if you love Ubisoft games, come and hang out. We have another one on Wednesday, July 7th coming up. We'll be streaming Watch Dogs Legion Bloodline, the new DLC with Aiden Pierce and Wrench. Thanks for watching, and take care. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Dr. Ellis?
I told you, she's probably tanked.
Touch this door again, I'll shoot. Again.
Dr. Ellis?
Hey, knock his damn lost it.
Please. We need answers.
It didn't disappear.
What did you say? Shh.
What?
It's not Emerson Flint. It's one of you.
What the hell was that supposed to mean?
Okay, well,
What did her eyeball say?
look, we don't understand. Could you please come out?
I'm afraid I can't do that, Ranger Wheeler. You could be one of them.
What is she?
One of what? A what?
A werewolf.
The roads are effed. Something's wrong with the generator. Also, there's a dead body under your porch. Yes!
I'm gonna go get a croissant.
Out of curiosity, who is packing? We having a good old-fashioned sleepover.
With guns, though.
With guns, yes.
Everybody's going, how the heck?
Not littering, I'm just excited.
Not judging, just watching it.